I'm going to go ahead and get started.
Yep, you're good to go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 7th meeting of the Senate Standing Committee on Education. I'd like to welcome everyone. For those also that are participating remotely, members that are remote, please be reminded that you can be considered present and vote on bills if you're participating from your annex office. If you are participating remotely but not from your annex office, you can participate in the discussion of a bill, but you will not be counted present and you cannot vote. When you join the meeting remotely, your microphone was automatically muted, so please remember to unmute your microphone before speaking or voting on a bill. If you have a question or comment during the meeting, please indicate that in the meeting chat function. Members, I do ask if you have a cell phone to please put that on to silence or vibrate as we continue the rest of the meeting. We have 2 bills for consideration. We also have a Senate resolution. I'm going to ask that the Senate resolution go out of order a little bit, but Senator Schickel, if he would come to the table, please. We have Senate Resolution 112. Let me do a roll call. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get ahead of myself with Senator Schickel coming to the Education Committee. Let me take a roll call real quick. Chris?
Senator Carroll.
Present in the room.
Senator Givens.
I'm present in my office here in the annex and eligible to vote.
Senator Harper Angel. Senator Higdon. Senator Kerr.
I'm here from my annex office.
Senator Meredith. Senator Neal. Senator Southworth. Senator Stivers. Senator Thomas. Senator West. Senator Wilson.
Present.
Chair Wise.
Present. Thank you so much. Senator Schickel, once again, it's a treat to have you in the Education Committee today. I know this is not a place you typically see very often, but we do have a Senate Resolution 112 today, that being a resolution confirming the appointment of Randy Poe to the Kentucky Board of Education. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's an honor to be here in front of the Education Committee. The last time I was here was about state-based councils and school boards, and that's been a couple years ago, and the guy that I'm going to talk about was here with me. But today, I want the members to know he's watching on KET and is very honored to be nominated by our governor for the state school board. And I am here to ask that you confirm him. Let me tell you a little bit about this man, my friend Dr. Randy Poe. I first met Dr. Randy Poe in 1975. I was running for Boone County Sheriff in the Democratic primary. And I went to a basketball game at Boone County High School, and he was taking the tickets there, selling the tickets for the basketball game. And that was my first conversation with Randy Poe, and I never in 1,000 years thought that 30, 40 years later that I would be nominating him for the state school board. But as you know, I know you have a relationship with Randy Poe, as most of you do here on this committee. He has been an education hero in Boone County. I think he was principal of numerous schools, maybe all of them, but started out as a teacher. It's interesting, and I just learned this recently about my friend Randy Poe. His father was a janitor in a school. His father was a janitor in a school. And look at him. He recently retired as our superintendent, and I think widely recognized as one of the best in the country. It's definitely the state is one of the best in the country. And you know, one thing about Randy, Dr. Poe, I've had many agreements with him, but I've also had several disagreements with him. But we've always remained friends all these years, and I consider him one of my closest friends. So it is a great honor for me today, Mr. Chairman and members of this committee, to ask that you confirm him to the state school board.
Senator Schickel, appreciate your comments, and I echo those. I've worked very closely with Dr. Poe over the years in my position here as the Education Committee Chairman, and you're exactly correct. The type of man he is, the integrity he brings to his position, and it's an honor to have this resolution today in our committee. Any members have any questions or comments? Do we have a motion? Senator Higdon, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a question. You said that Randy Poe never, when you first met him, you never imagined you being nominating him for Kentucky Board of Education. Do you think maybe at that time when he first met you, he ever thought you'd be a state senator?
Well, I wasn't gonna share this whole story with you, but part of his duties that day were to throw me out of the school for campaigning on school property.
So obviously, he did not think you would be a state senator. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Higdon. Do we have a motion from Senator Stivers? Do we have a second? We have a second for Senator Wilson. Chris, please call the roll.
Senator Carroll.
Aye.
Senator Givens.
I proudly vote aye.
Senator Harper Angel. Senator Higdon. Senator Kerr.
I proudly vote aye as well.
Senator Meredith. Senator Neal. Senator Southworth.
Aye.
Senator Stivers. Senator Thomas. Senator West. Senator Wilson. Chairman Wise.
Aye. By a 12-0 vote, the resolution passes, and I know that Dr. Poe is watching online. Congratulations, Randy. Thank you, Senator Schickel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee.
Next up on the agenda for today, I'm going to go in order, is Senate Bill 101. Senate Bill 101 is an act relating to career and technical education. Sponsor is from our own committee, Senator Higdon. Senator Higdon, if you would, please identify yourself for the record, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. Senate Bill 101 is a piece of legislation that's been around a while, but it hasn't been codified in state statute. It's been contained in the revenue bill. And so basically what this bill does, it allowed, when it opened up, it allowed ATCs, Area Technology Centers, in the state system to transfer over to local control. The first year they would receive 100% of funding. The second year and thereafter they would receive 75% of funding. Two schools took advantage of that, Greene County and Nelson County. It was a great opportunity for them, and so what this bill does, it puts it in statute, and for those schools forever they'll be funded at that 75% rate. It also, the window stays open till December the 31st. If there's any other school systems, any other ATCs in the state that want to go from state controlled to local controlled, they'll still have that opportunity for the next 9 months. So, Mr. Chairman, that's basically what this bill does. It codifies what we're already doing.
Senator Higdon, there is a committee sub on the bill.
Yes, and
if we could move for adoption of the committee sub, do we have a motion? We have a motion by Senator West. Do we have a second? We have a second from Senator Wilson on the sub. All members choosing to accept, please do so by saying aye.
aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Senator Higdon, any more discussion based off what the sub does, or
There is some language contained in the language is just a date change, but it contains a piece of a date or a funding mechanism put into place by Representative Bam Carney, and so that's also included in the sub, and it includes Taylor County in this bill. So
thank you, Senator.
thank you.
Senator Thomas, you had a question.
Yes. Senator Higdon, this issue's been important to you since I came to the Senate in 2014.
I've been working on this since 2008.
And this is just for my own edification. What's the problem now that you're seeking to correct? Just I'm gonna support you, but
no.
I don't know what the problem is.
There's not a major problem. In 2008, where I was lobbying for this, and we had a task force a couple years ago, if you remember that we, in education, we had all the ATCs in, and we had a long discussion about technical education. But it's very difficult. It's hard to change because you have some schools that are very fond of their ATCs, and they don't want to change. You have other school systems that were chomping at the bit to be local controlled, and so we put that in I want to say the budget bill, but it was a revenue bill. We put this language in there, and it allowed these schools to do that. So instead of having to put it in the revenue bill every year, we're going to go ahead and put it in statute. And the window is going to close if if there's any other schools that want to do this. They've got to the end of the year to do it. Like I said, right now, I thought it was the greatest thing ever, but only 2 schools took advantage of it. So we're going to close that window, and it will probably never be opened again. So but it puts it in statute, Senator Thomas, where we don't have to put it in the revenue bill every 2 years.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Any other member, any other questions? If not, do we have a motion on Senate Bill 101 as amended by the committee sub? Motion. We have a motion from Senator West. Do we have a second? We have a second from Senator Wilson. Chris, please call the roll.
Senator Carroll,
Aye.
Senator Givens,
Aye.
Senator Harper Angel, Senator Higdon,
You're
Senator
on
Farr,
screen. Aye.
Senator Meredith, Senator Neal, Senator Southworth,
Aye.
Senator Stivers,
Explain my vote.
Please proceed.
This is something that I think is regional to where Senator Higdon is, where you have school boards working with the area technology centers, the LAVEX, local area technology centers in essence, and the business community to try to define what their real needs are for employment and the skills training that needs to come through the technology centers, which has somewhat morphed over the years and will probably even morph even more. I wish that other regions, kind of like how the 3 county judges in northern Kentucky work together for economic development, this region has worked together really for a comprehensive technical skills training plan for not just county by county, but region. Appreciate the work they've done because I've watched this since 2008 too.
Senator Thomas, Senator West, Senator Wilson,
Aye.
Chair Wise.
Aye. The bill passes on a vote of 12-0. Senator Higdon, would you like this put on consent? Do we have a motion for consent?
Is there a title amendment first, Mr. Chairman?
There is a title amendment. Thank you. Yes.
Motion on title amendment.
Motion, a second on title amendment. We have a second. All those in favor of accepting the title amendment to Senate Bill 101 do so by saying aye. All
Aye.
those opposed, title amendment is accepted. We have a motion for consent, Senator Carroll. We have a second.
Second.
Second, Senator Wilson. All those in favor of allowing the bill, Senate Bill 101, to be put on consent, do so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Mr. Chairman and my colleagues on the committee, thank you all for passage of this bill. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Senator Higdon. The last bill on the agenda for today, Senate Bill 270, an act relating to post-secondary education. The sponsor is Senator Morgan McGarvey. Senator McGarvey, welcome to the Education Committee. If you would, just identify yourself for the record and please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Morgan McGarvey, State Senator, District 19, and I have my good friend and colleague, Senator Neal, joining me this morning.
Welcome, Senator Neal.
Thank you. If I may, Mr. Chairman,
Please.
members here may not know, and thank you, Senator McGarvey, may not be aware that Simmons College, which this bill pertains to, was founded in 1879. And it's a historically black college, referred to as HBCU. You may have heard that reference before. It's one of the, it's one of only 107 HBCUs nationwide. It's one of those. But Simmons really thrived up to about the Depression, and Depression sort of diminished it somewhat. But it did come back, and now under the leadership of Reverend Cosby, who's the president, the 13th president of that institution, they're doing tremendous work in uplifting and providing opportunities for young students. This particular piece here is going to be very important because it adds to the fact that it's nationally accredited, and the fact of the matter is that enabling it to function with the Education Professional Standards Board is it's going to allow it to reach its full potential. So this is very important, but I thought that historical information might be useful for you.
Thanks, Senator Neal. Senator McGarvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, when I first began working on this with Senator Neal and Dr. Cosby, there are a couple of numbers that stuck out to me I think are important. HBCUs, they operate 3% of colleges nationally. Only 3% of the colleges nationally are HBCUs. But HBCUs produce 20% of black college graduates, 25% of black STEM holders, 75% of black doctors and dentists, 80% of black judges, 40% of black members of Congress. Now, 50% of public school teachers who are black come from an HBCU. The problem is the number of black teachers in our schools, particularly in here in Kentucky. I want you to think about, when was the first time you had a black school teacher? Did you have a black school teacher growing up? And so what Simmons College did is saw this need, and in 2019, they started a teacher preparation program. Now, remember in the fall of 2019 what we thought the rest of the year would look like? The second semester changed dramatically at Simmons College and at every college across the country. And so we got a little bit slowed down on what we need to do, and that's why we're here this year. Simmons College is nationally accredited, but in order to apply to have their teacher certification program accredited here in Kentucky, they have to go through, they need to alternate that process. And so what this bill does is say, as long as you have a national accreditation and are an HBCU, which as you all know, that HBCU must have been in existence before 1964. There will be no new HBCUs in Kentucky. Then you can appeal to EPSB to receive that accreditation. This is not a guarantee. This is a step that allows that equity, since Simmons College doesn't have some of the things that SACS requires, but does have a national accreditation, that they can come forward and go to EPSB, and EPSB could grant that. The other change the bill makes is it allows for KTG money to follow students to Simmons College. We have had no objection to this. We've talked with Aaron Thompson. We have talked with KHEAA. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I'm not in front of you guys enough to know all of your acronyms by heart. But the KHEAA also says that they do not see this being a substantial change in what's going to happen with their program. We've also talked with Dr. O.J. Aleka of the Association of Independent Kentucky Colleges and Universities, and they do not have any problems with this bill as well.
Thank you both. Do we have Dr. Cosby on virtual?
I don't believe he was able to
Okay.
come in this morning, Mr. Chairman.
Appreciate his leadership, and I've told him before, when I was an undergraduate student at Campbellsville University, I heard him speak at one of our chapel convocations, and a wonderful leader, not just for Jefferson County, but for the entire Commonwealth. And so I just want to make that known for the record of the job he's doing and how inspirational his speech was one day at our convocation for me as an undergraduate student. Do we have any questions from any members? We do. Senator West.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This question is for Senator Neal. Curiosity, about how many students does, and maybe Senator McGarvey knows as well, how many students does Simmons have?
About 300.
About 300, okay.
Sorry.
I'd just like to make comments, speak in support of the measure.
Please proceed.
This is a really good thing. With a teacher shortage that we have, that now time's of the essence, this is great that this is coming. And hope, we've talked about this in the past, that we can work on the early literacy part. We'd love to see Simmons be involved in that and moving that whole thing forward. So just strongly encourage support of the measure. Thank you.
Senator Stivers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple things about this, and I know that the two senators, our colleagues, have worked with you and Senate Pro Tem and, again, Aaron Thompson to look at this. I'm very much a pragmatist, and I think it is something that at this time, with the current focus on the federal administration, that we need to do everything we can do to assist our HBCUs. I think there will be substantial opportunities to elevate their status from a funding mechanism, and it is big that the KTG can go. I also think, and you all may find this odd, probably in my discussions with Reverend Cosby, and I'm not trying to be political in this, the prior administration at the federal level did as much to open up the avenues for HBCUs as any administration ever has. And I think this administration, because of the fact that the vice president came from a HBCU will see even more. And so when you think about all the other things that have gone on, this is a really good piece of work that's really timely to assist in that community. And I'm going to ask a question because of these two gentlemen. Would y'all have any opposition to an amendment that would set the partnership between K-State, another HBCU, and Simmons, as well as a portal known as the Neighborhood Place in this bill? I won't do it if you all object to it because I like the bill, but I think it has some opportunity.
I have no objection, Mr. President, especially if we can keep it moving.
It won't slow it down.
Yes, sir.
Any other member, any other comments? Seeing no questions, do we have a motion on Senate Bill 270? We have a motion from Senator West. Do we have a second? Second from Senator Neal. Chris, please call the roll.
Senator Carroll.
Aye.
Senator Givens.
Aye.
Senator Harper Angel. Senator Higdon. Senator Kerr. Senator Meredith.
Aye.
Oh,
Sorry.
Thank you. Senator Meredith. Senator Neal. Senator Southworth.
Explain my vote, Mr. Chairman.
Please proceed.
I'm voting aye today, and I actually contacted the sponsor yesterday when I saw this on our agenda and told him, you better remind me on the floor because I want to co-sponsor this. Thank you for bringing this forward. I graduated from a very small school, certainly not a historically black school, but I'm very familiar with the U.S. Department of Education, all the different accrediting agencies out there. One thing that I'd like to see as we move forward is recognizing those a lot more because, you know, the regional accreditation agencies are not the only accreditation agencies out there. So many times we end up locking ourselves in where there's a lot of, if we're talking about small businesses, small schools, giving equal footing to those people who it's fairly cost prohibitive to do regional accreditation, but it's not cost prohibitive to provide a really good education in a small school setting. So appreciate your work on this and look forward to the future expansion of similar things in the future.
Senator Stivers. Senator Thomas.
I vote aye and like to explain my vote.
Please proceed.
Or at least elaborate. I think it should be pointed out that Simmons has been accredited by what's called NCATE, the National Commission of the Academy of Teacher Education. And this certification certifies all teacher ed programs across the country. UK's teacher ed program, Eastern, Westerns, every teacher ed program has to be certified by NCATE. And Simmons has that certification. So again, it does have the appropriate certifications for this bill. Reverend Cosby has already noticed done an excellent job there, and so I proudly support this bill. You know, having had parents who are both graduates of HBCUs.
Senator West. Senator Wilson. Chair Wise.
Aye. The vote does pass by 12-vote measure. We do have joining us, who's joined us online, Dr. Cosby. Dr. Cosby, welcome. Be happy to entertain any comments that you may have, sir. Dr. Cosby, are you muted? Are you there?
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I am overwhelmed by the support on behalf of the Senate and this committee. This is a historic day for Simmons College and a historic day for our Commonwealth. I believe strongly that the path to equity, one of the important paths is equity in education. And this Commonwealth is blessed to have a private historical Black college or university at Simmons College. And so I just want to thank you so very much for all of the support that we have received through the years. And we're excited about what the future is going to bring. So again, thank you so very much for this vote of confidence.
Dr. Cosby, thank you, sir, for joining us. Looking forward to the partnership, and we thank the sponsors both at the table today for bringing this forward for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Senator McGarvey, since there's a possible discussion of a title amendment, I'm not going to put the bill on consent to allow for that discussion to continue, to get the process continue moving.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Very welcome. Thank you both. Senator West, you needed to record a vote, I think, from earlier.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to record an aye vote on Senate Resolution 112. And if it is in order, I would make a motion for consent.
Motion for consent on the confirmation of Randy Poe. We have a motion. Do we have a second for the confirmation to go on consent? We have a second from Senator Meredith. All those in favor of placing the Senate resolution on consent, do so by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Perfect. Members, I just want to make note, next week we are scheduled for a Thursday committee meeting, which will be entirely of House bills. So just making everyone aware, playing traffic guard on different things. We will have House bills coming into the committee, so please be aware of next week's meetings. We will get you that agenda as quickly as we can. Thank you all so much. We have a motion for adjournment.